we're talking about, well, we were talking about Sony and their problems over in the UK with Freeview, the Freeview channel service. And now we are talking about Nokia. That new Lumina 6 series, is really, is really going to do some damage if this thing is as good, because Nokia is one of those companies now that they're firing on all cylinders. They're like Samsung in a way, in that how Samsung, just everything they seem to do seems to hit gold, strike gold. Well, Nokia seems to be getting their stride. They seem to be getting in stride, with technology and their phones, and everything they're doing now is really poising them and putting them in a good position. They have that Nokia, the Lumina 1020 that's coming out with that 41 megapixel camera. Before that, it was the Nokia Lumina 925, 920 series. All of those had great cameras, great look. I mean, they really started to put Windows, make people think of Windows Phone, especially with their Near or Here app that is in the Windows Store. As a matter of fact, it's a Nokia app. And so definitely they started to make Windows relevant again. And now Nokia is again continuing to fire on all cylinders, not slowing down. The new Nokia Lumina 6 series smartphone is rumored to have a 720p display. Now, over the past couple of weeks, rumors of this 4.7-inch Nokia Lumina 625 smartphone have been circulating online. People have been saying that this thing is coming out. The device is reportedly said to be the first Nokia Lumina offering to break the 4.5-inch display barrier. Now, this is big because, like I say, Nokia is now coming up with all these different phones. Nokia is now hitting their stride, trying to compete with the Samsungs, compete with Apple, and they're doing a good job because they're cutting into the market share of Android slowly. They haven't broken into where it's big, but after taking over from BlackBerry in the third spot, they have gained a few more percentage points in the market share as far as smartphones go. Now, the the Lumina 625 has already been spotted on a Chinese website. And just yesterday, it was rumored that the device will cost around $320 and will be released the third quarter of this year, and that's not that far away. Now, today's rumor is related to an unnamed 6 series Nokia device. It is claimed that the smartphone will have a 720p screen, which is going to be in the 4 inches or higher bracket. Now, it obviously can't be said for sure if the source is referring to the much-rumored Nokia Lumina 625 smartphone, though it too is said to have that HD display. So that's going to be minimum 720p, perhaps even a 1080p offering from Nokia. Since it's going to be in the mid-range device, putting an HD screen on it will no doubt be a good move for Nokia, considering how most mid-range smartphones today don't have HD screens. So if Nokia can put an HD screen in this mid-range offering that they're coming out with, they're definitely going to catch eyes with this phone. And it claims that this is an unnamed device, will be released later this year, third quarter. And we previously heard rumors of Nokia releasing new Lumina devices later this year anyway. So this falls right in line, and a picture of it appearing on that Chinese website really shows that Nokia, may be serious. This may be something, and the reason why we bring this to you is because if you're looking for a good alternative to Android or iOS. Now, before, there was no good alternative to Android or iOS. You might have the BlackBerry faithful who would die-hard BlackBerry, and when the Q10 and Z10 came out earlier this year, there a lot of people flocked to it, and especially BlackBerry got that order for 1 million phones. We were assuming that it was a government contract. BlackBerry never released who the 1 million phones were going to, but we assumed it must be a government contract, and so BlackBerry was looking pretty good. Nokia, on the other hand, was looking shakier earlier this year. So many analysts thought that Nokia was going to fade away as BlackBerry kind of stabilized and took their place once again in the cell phone mobile market world. However, Now it hasn't turned out that way. Now BlackBerry is looking shaky. BlackBerry is looking like, you know, things are not picking up for them the way they had hoped, whereas Nokia is now becoming established in the mobile market, especially with their release of the Nokia 1020 and the 900 series that was released earlier this year. Those offerings and those commercials that they came out with really started to set Nokia apart. The colorful options that they have, the beautiful screen, the easy layout. Nokia really started to cut into the market share of Android, and that's a good thing. You know, and now if you want a good alternative, I would have to say the Nokia phones, which in the past have been good phones. The Nokia Lumia series in the past, years ago, those were good phones. They just never got the traction because Windows operating system just wasn't up to snuff. So now Windows, the Nokia phone series is starting to gain traction. And competition is good for the market. Now you have Android, now you have iOS, and now you have a legitimate contender in the Windows space. Before, there was no legitimate contender. You know, there was no legitimate contender in other than Android or iOS. You know, those were really the best phones you can get. Now Nokia coming out, and now with the rumor of their Lumia 6 series with that 720p display, and this is supposed to be their mid-range phone. 925s, you know, and the Nokia 1020 is like their higher offerings. The 6 series is going to be their mid-range offering phone, rumored to come out at about $320. And this thing is going to have a high-definition screen, minimum 720p. I definitely think that Nokia is on the way up. So if you're someone that's looking for a good alternative, it's time to look Nokia's way. Nokia has now, because remember, if you watch early editions of Tech Pulse, we said that if Nokia could continue to come out with good apps, which they have, as well as offer good hardware, which they're doing, they would have a chance in the wars of the cell phones, and they're doing that. And now I have to admit that the Nokia series is a good alternative. If you don't like Android, you don't like iOS, or you just want something different, definitely the Nokia series phones is headed in that direction. Now, speaking of something a little different, Samsung, the SMP 905 or the 900 series, for those of you that are looking for a laptop, this is me a laptop, for a tablet, that, I mean, if the 10-inch screen size is not big enough for you, right? You know, I know Jaden says he likes the smaller size because, you know, it fits easily into his hand. Xavier more likes the, you know, the 10-inch, you know, bigger tablet, bigger screen, you know, everything looks bigger. You know, when you're playing games or surfing the web, whatever, everything looks bigger and better on a big screen. But if that's not big enough for you, you know, Samsung has got you covered. Now, Samsung has launched 4 new tablets coming up this year. They've launched the Note 8.0, the Galaxy Tab 3 7.0, the Galaxy Tab 3 8.0. So you have the Note 8.0, the Galaxy Tab 3 7.0, and then you have the Galaxy Tab 3 8.0, and the Galaxy Tab 3 10.1. Now you're saying, man, what all of these different screen sizes they have offered this year? So you have the Note 8.0 like an 8-incher, and then the Galaxy Tab 3 7.0, that's 7-incher, the 8.0 Galaxy Tab 3, they're a little bigger, and then you have the 10.1-inch Galaxy Tab 3, and yet none of them have been considered to be high-end tablets. You know, they're just, you know, medium offerings at best. But there's an unannounced SM900/SM905, you know, that 900 series tablet that seems to be capable of filling that void. Now, if we can call it a void anyway when it comes to Samsung, but the SMP 900 and 905 model numbers refer to the same device, with the latter probably being the LTE version, because, you know, normally when you have tablets, you'll have a Wi-Fi only version, and then you'll have an LTE edition version, which means LTE just means, well, the term LTE means long-term evolution, but LTE refers to your cellular service. So you have a tablet that's Wi-Fi only, can only connect to the internet via Wi-Fi in a Wi-Fi hotspot. That's probably going to be the SMP 900. and then SMP 905 is probably with LTE as well. So you connect this thing with your cellular service and you can get internet on the go wherever you're going. Now, their UA profiles are both listed at Samsung's website, confirming the screen resolution of 2560 by 1600 pixels, the same used by the Google Nexus 10. This thing is definitely better than high definition. We're talking retina display type territory. Now, Zuba, an Indian website that hosts important import and export data for the benefit of business community, researchers, economists, and others for free, seem to confirm that the screen size of the SMP 905 is 12.2 inches, assuming that the new tablet, a very thin bezel, it could only be slightly larger than the 10.1 inch of the Nexus 10. So that's where we're hearing that the rumors of this tablet, the 12.2 inch screen, is coming out, and it seems that there are several SMP 905 units which have entered India this month, and they're not for sale but for testing and evaluation purposes. So right now it's just in the testing phase, and the SMP 900 and 905 could officially be announced by Samsung in early September, when the 5.7 inch Galaxy Note 3, which is their new phone, that 6-inch phone that has been rumored to come out, is expected to be unveiled. And of course, when that happens, we'll let you know more details on that. But as of right now, it looks like Samsung is working on a 12.2, 12.3 inch tablet, and it's going to debut hopefully this September, when they make their announcement for the Galaxy Note, the Galaxy Note 3 that is supposed to come out, the 5.7 inch Galaxy Note 3 that is supposed to come out. When they make that announcement, they're said to be also going to make the announcement for this brand new tablet, 12.3 inch. So if the 10.1 inch area is not big enough for you, you need something bigger, you might want to wait until September until this new SMP 905 model with LTE comes out with that screen resolution of 2560 by 1600. Definitely high definition. Now, coming up after the break, because like we said, this thing is we're talking right here live, and we're going to be coming up after the break. We're going to be talking about the a new DLC coming for Borderlands. So all you Borderlands fans out there, new DLC is coming, and we're going to talk about that coming up after the break right here on Tech Pulse. So just stay tuned right there. We're going to be coming up after the break, just in a few, and we're going to be finish talking about this Samsung story, and we're going to hit that new DLC for Borderlands. So all you Borderlands fans out there, you're going to get some new content to the game coming up right after.